Good morning. It's Monday. That means it's weigh-in time. But before we do, let's talk about this week. Um, the challenge was no sodas for this week, and I accomplished it. Not one drink, not one swallow of soda did I have this week. So I did it. I can do it. I did, and that's quite an accomplishment for me. I mentioned before, I have left a 4 to 5 liter a day habit. It was terrible, and you know what what did I substitute all the soda for? Now I didn't break this habit, just this week. I have gradually decreased over the last several months, and I have gotten down to the mini cans. They're about 7.5 ounces, and I've been drinking about 2 of those a week. So basically, 15 ounces. Last week, I did pretty good. I think last week not this last week, the challenge, the week prior to that, I think I had only one of those cans, and then I did buy a 20-ounce bottle for the Father's Day dinner, but then I didn't drink all of that. I made a glass out of it, and I drank some. And then the last part I poured in, and I never even drank it. I let the ice melt, I let it get watery, and I didn't even drink that. So, I had less than 20 ounces the week prior, which was an accomplishment. However, I did have, probably 3 or 4 of the McDonald's iced coffee. Sometimes I get the French vanilla, sometimes the caramel. And for a small, those things are, I think, about 130 calories. And they have the real sugar. So, they're better than soda. But they're, not real good for you. So this week, no soda. And I only had one small McDonald's iced coffee. So I did very good. Now, what did I drink in substitute of that all this week? First of all, a lot of water, and I've been doing this, for several months now. Before I decided to go vegan, I drank several, 3 or 4 water bottles a day, and these things are 16.9 ounces. So we've got more than 2 cups in a bottle, and I drink 3 to 4 of these a day. Remember, I eat a lot of fruit and a lot of vegetables, so you get a lot of water from those too. I've been getting, a minimum of 8 cups of water a day. I drink occasionally. I don't drink often, but I do have some unsweetened tea, just plain old brewed tea. I like the Lipton cold brew. I like to put it in a jar and set it out in the sun and have sun brewed tea. Very seldom, I may have 2 or 3 glasses of tea a week, and I drink it unsweetened. Every once in a blue moon, and I mean maybe once a month, for a treat, something a little different, I'll put some artificial sweetener in it. I use Splenda. I don't know that one sweetener is better than the others. I really don't know. I try to avoid them because, they're man-made chemicals, and I can't believe they're good for you. However, I have not done the research on them, so I cannot tell you any facts. It's just my logic in my head. It's a man-made processed substance. I can't imagine it's natural or healthy for you in any way, shape, or form. However, being a diabetic, insulin dependent, I have to pick and choose my battles, and artificial sweetener is one of those that I try not to use a lot of it, but I have a terrible sweet tooth. Before my stroke, it wasn't anything. I kept hard candy at my desk, and I would suck on butterscotch or Werther's Original or cinnamon candy, or I would suck on these throughout the day, and then it wasn't uncommon for me to have a bag of chips or um, a package of cookies. I'm known as the Cookie Monster. There's not a bad cookie on this planet. I love any and all cookies. And it wasn't anything for me to have a package of cookies on my desk, and I'll nibble through them, throughout the day. And before you know it, in 2 or 3 days' time, I'm eating a whole package of cookies by myself. This is not good for diabetics, especially one that's should be on insulin and medication, which I was not taking. And then I'm surprised that I have a stroke. Well, the way I was eating and the way I was living, I'm lucky to even be alive. So a stroke was very minimal compared to what could have happened. My A1C was 12.9 back in December when I had the stroke. That is outrageous. Just ridiculous. But that's just the way it was. So anyway, let's move past that. What am I drinking? Tea. On occasion, I will put artificial sweetener in it. And that's really about it. Water, tea, and then I had been drinking McDonald's coffee, and sometimes I would make coffee here at home. Now, I have figured out a way to make coffee that's not a nightmare. It's still probably not the best, and it does involve a tad bit of dairy. Oh, my tummy says it's time for breakfast number 2. Can you hear that? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so rude. My tummy's growling. It's time to eat my snack, which is usually fruit. Anyway, I have figured out if I make my coffee at home, home brew, brew it up with my favorite ground coffee or coffee beans. I really like buying the coffee beans and grinding them up and then brewing them. Brew it kind of strong, and then make a 12-ounce. I mix it in a jar. I let the coffee cool, and then I pour 12 ounces in a jar. I use a quart-sized jar. Put 12 ounces of my coffee in it, and then 6 ounces of the, I use generic, it's a great value, almond milk, unsweetened. I pour 6 ounces of that into the jar with my coffee, and then 2 tablespoons of the artificial sweetener. I know that's bad, but that's it. And then I'm trying to learn to do without this part, because this part does have a little bit of dairy. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I add 2 tablespoons of the International Delight sugar-free, the caramel creamer. It is 20 calories per tablespoon, and so there is calories in it. And if you read the ingredients, there is a derivative of milk in there. It's less than 2% of the creamer. It's less than 2%, and it's not a direct milk product, but it is a derivative from the milk product. So there is a little bit of dairy in it. But 12-ounce coffee, 6-ounce almond milk, 2 tablespoons Splenda, and 2 tablespoons of the International Delight caramel sugar-free creamer. And then I like mine on ice. I saved some of my little McDonald cups. I saved 2 of my little plastic small size McDonald cups, and that coffee mixture poured on top of ice gives me 2 cups. The McDonald cups, and I feel it's not quite as yummy as the McDonald coffee, but it's really close. Now, if I could just do the coffee, the sweetener, and the almond milk, that would be better. But I really like that caramel or the French vanilla, as long as it's the sugar-free. That's what I drink. Water, tea, and coffee. That's it. Occasionally, which is in Blue Moon, I will have a small, probably 4-ounce glass of the almond milk. I'm not a big milk drinker, and so that's very seldom. But every once in a blue moon for a snack, I'll eat a banana with a little bit of the almond milk. And that's what I drink. Water. That's probably 75% of what I drink is water. And then usually water and coffee. Because like I said, I get 2 cups of those coffee. It's 18 ounces. So 2 9-ounce cups of coffee, iced coffee a day. And I don't always drink both of those in a day, but usually I do. So that's what I drink. How'd I do this week? I didn't drink the soda. I switched from the McDonald's coffee to my own coffee, which, by the way, for the 12-ounce, or the jar, 12 ounces of coffee, it's like 1 or 2 calories. It's not even worth counting. 6 ounces of the almond milk, I think it's 20 calories. It's 30 calories for 8 ounces. So I think 6 ounces is probably around 20, I'm guessing. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And then 2 tablespoons of the creamer is 40 calories. That's a total of 60, maybe 62 calories. The Splenda, there's no calories. So about 62 calories with that mixture, and I drink that in a day. I don't drink more than that. I stop right there because that's 2 tablespoons of sweetener. Wow. Can't they find somewhere else to go besides my face? They do that to me all the time, but I try not to react too terribly, and so far I have not gotten stung. Anyway, back to the coffee. Water and coffee is mostly what I drink. Occasionally, for a little something different, I'll drink some unsweet tea, and on a rare occasion, I'll put some Splenda in there, and maybe a little bit of lemon, or a little bit of lime, or maybe even some orange, and have something a little different. Peach is real good in your tea, and so is pineapple. And the peach, I really like the peach occasionally. Put it in the tea and let it set 10-15 minutes or so, then add your ice, and you don't need the Splenda or sugar. The peach sweetens it, plus gives it a little flavor. But so anyway, that's that. Before I did my research, I talked to you last time about my vitamin B12 being a little low. This week I decided, okay, you know what, I really need to get my vitamin B12 up. So I bought a can of the pink salmon, and I made a healthy salmon salad, and I have been eating on that every 2 or 3 days. And so I did have some fish this week, and for my one little cheat, which I guess the fish would have been a cheat, but it was something I allowed because of the vitamin B, I had about a 3-ounce portion of meatloaf that was packed with celery and onion and bell pepper and carrots. So it was a vegetable-packed meatloaf, but it did have some homegrown grass-fed beef in it, and I had about a 3-ounce portion. So that was this week's cheat. Overall, I did very well this week. I was very strict on my nuts. I think maybe 2 days I had a little bit too much, but not like I normally do. Just eat it handful by handful. I was very careful with it. I do have to have a bedtime snack that contains protein because of my insulin. That way I won't drop too low during while I'm sleeping. And so I've saved my peanuts, 1.5 ounces I eat right after I do my yoga, and right before I go to bed I'll eat those peanuts, and then I usually read 1 or 2 chapters, and then off to bed I go. And that has done very good. Overall, I feel good about this week. So let's go step on the scales and see if the scales say I did good this week. I feel pretty good. We'll see. Wow, there you have it. 158.8, and last week was 162.0, I think. So that's what, a 3.2 pound loss. I'm happy with that. That puts me almost on track. I had hoped to lose, 2 pounds a week, or 2.5 pounds a week. We are now at the halfway mark for our 4th of July challenge. I wanted to lose 5. Wow, my tummy. I had wanted to lose 5 pounds by now, but now last week, I gained a pound. So that kind of set me back. But this week, I lost 3.2. So, maybe if I can do that one more time, maybe I can catch up. My goal was to lose 10 pounds in the month of June, and, I'm 1/3 of the way there. So maybe a little extra work in the next 2 weeks. For sure, making sure I keep a handle on those peanuts and cashews and walnuts, and I eat all these things. I just love nuts and seeds, sunflower seed kernels. I eat those, and they're just yummy, crunchy, and a little bit salty, and certainly a better snack than potato chips, and you still get the crunch and a little bit of salt. So, but a little bit is enough, and I tend to overdo it with the nuts. So that's certainly something I need to watch, and staying away from the McDonald's coffees, those extra calories. That's going to go a long way. I feel good. A little extra work. Next week I get to see the cardiologist, and I believe he's going to release me, and I think he's going to start me on my cardio rehab, which is going to be a cardiovascular workout 2 or 3 times a week. So I think that's going to help me too. But that won't be until, at least one more week. think I go Wednesday next week. All right, so, there we have it. We're halfway through the challenge. We've completed week 1 and 2. We still have week 3 and 4 to go. I need, almost 7 pounds in the next 2 weeks. I think that's going to be difficult because I'm almost at that target BMI. Now my doctor measured me at 5'7", and he said that my target weight would be 159. That puts me, at the top bracket of my healthy BMI. Now, I think I must have had shoes on when he measured me because I measured myself, and I measured barefoot, and I was 5'6". So, based on 5'6", the very top of my healthy BMI goal is actually 155, and that's only 3 pounds away, or 3.8 pounds away. Look at this. I still have a very thick waist, and this undesirable roll of fat, here on my belly. So I don't think 3 pounds is going to take care of that, and it's unhealthy for a heart patient to have this fat, right here in this midsection of your body. And so I'm going to have to pump it up and work just a little extra harder. And my overall goal is 145. That's going to be right in the middle of my BMI range. Actually, a little over halfway. And that I'm going to shoot for that. And then we're going to, measure my waist and my hip and find out, what my waist to hip ratio is, and see if we're at a healthy level yet. We will reevaluate and take it from there. In the meantime, this coming week, I'm going to continue push mowing my lawn 4 days a week. I'm going to continue with the nightly yoga, and I hope to continue working in the garden. That's extra exercise. And when I'm finished with the garden, maybe I'm going to pick up a walk or a little extra time at the doctor's office working on the bicycle and the treadmill and the elliptical, maybe punch in a few extra minutes here and there with that. Now, my challenge for Courtney and for all of you this week, let's see, I hope you continue with, the greens. Green leafy vegetables is very healthy for you. So I hope you're continuing a minimum of 1 cup of greens a day. I eat about 2 cups, but 1 cup a day, that's the minimum. I hope you keep up with that. And then, don't forget to broccoli and Brussels sprouts and green beans. These are also healthy green vegetables that is good for you too. So maybe you get tired of kale or spinach or something. It's not going to hurt to swap those green veggies out for a green bean or broccoli or Brussels sprouts a couple of times if you're just sick of the greens. But, make sure you keep on those greens. That's very important to keep at those. And it's important to have a variety of vegetables. So in addition to your 1 cup of greens, I challenge you throughout the day for the next week to have 4 half-cup servings of any other vegetable. Let's moderate white potatoes, corn, and peas because these are pretty starchy. So you can have those, but let's not eat 4 servings of white potatoes every day because they're just too starchy for you. But carrots and onion and celery and bell pepper and all these vegetables. I like to try to get my 1 cup of greens and then 4 other vegetables of different color, because the color is interesting. You know, it's just interesting to interesting appearance on your plate, and so that's good for you. And they are all, you got different kinds of nutrients and minerals and vitamins. That's all good for you. So a variety of vegetables every day. So in addition to your 1 cup of greens, get 4 half-cup servings of any other vegetable that you desire, and limit it to, only 1 serving of the starchy vegetables, the white potatoes, the peas, and these type things. Keep the starches at a minimal. There you have it. That's this week's challenge. Let's see how you do. Eat those veggies. They're very good for you, and they're very important. And don't forget your water. That's the most important thing you can put in your body is fresh water. It just it regulates your body temperature. Your body is a huge percentage of water, and so if we don't drink plenty of water, then our bodies will maintain, it'll absorb and hold onto water as storage, which increases blood pressure, increases swelling, and it's water weight that you're carrying around, that if you're giving your body enough water, that's extra weight your body won't carry around, because it says, oh, it's okay, I can get rid of this, I don't need it right now. She's going to give, or he is going to give me more water shortly anyway. So make sure you drink your water, eat your vegetables, eat your greens, and I meant to tell you, I was eating salmon this week for the vitamin B12 because I'm borderline low on that. But I did some research, and I found out that some foods are enriched with vitamin B12, and most of those are like your cold breakfast cereals. And the one I found that was the best was bran flakes. And now bran flakes are pretty boring to eat, and they're high in carbs, but they are whole grains, so they're heart healthy for you. And I mix in my almond milk, vanilla, unsweetened, and then I put in, I slice up a banana and I put in there, or a cup of strawberries, and which, by the way, 1 cup of strawberries is half the calories of 1 medium banana. Just throwing that out there. Or a cup of blueberries, or I put the cereal size, serving size is 3/4 cup. So I'm actually putting more fruit in my cereal than I'm putting the cereal. But that makes it sweet and more desirable to eat, because bran flakes are kind of boring. They're not disgusting, but they are kind of boring. And so that's how I eat mine, and I eat one serving of that every day. Sometimes I have it for breakfast, sometimes I'll eat it for snack, or maybe I have it for lunch. But the bran flakes, now I get the great value enriched bran flakes, so it's a generic. It's like $2 a box, or $2.49 or something a box. It gives you 100% of your vitamin B12, and also if you are fighting anemia or low hemoglobin, it also gives you 100% daily value of your iron also. So I've incorporated that into my diet every single day to boost my vitamin B12 and my iron. And with that, my bonus challenge for this week is, since I've doing that, no meat at all this week, and no milk, no eggs, no cheese, and no meat, with the exception, and I'm sorry, I really should do away with this too. The only dairy that I'm allowing myself is my 2 tablespoons of my coffee creamer. I get that, but like I said, 2 tablespoons is all I get per day, and only 2% or less than 2% of that is from a dairy source. It's derived from milk. So it's not good, and I'm excusing myself because, well, just because I am. There are other things that's far worse. It still doesn't have cholesterol in it, and that's really my goal, is no cholesterol, or very, very little cholesterol. So I've been doing very well with that. And the creamer, although I should not have, because it does have that little dab of dairy in it, does not have creamer. And so I pardon myself and say, you know what, I'm not eating peanut butter cookies. I'm not having a Snickers bar with almonds. I'm not having my little Twinkie cakes. By golly, I can have my creamer. Okay, that's all I've got for you this week. Good luck. And don't forget to do your weigh-ins. And Courtney, 1 cup of greens and 4 veggies every day. That's my challenge for you for this week. It's easy to do. It really is. If you make a salad, it's easy to do. You throw in 2 cups of greens right there, and then you toss in half a cup of carrots, the little petite carrots. I love those little petite carrots. And then you throw in some onion and some bell pepper, and you throw in some mushrooms, and you throw in, you can be there in no time. And toss in a mandarin orange, or a little bit of pineapple, or a little bit of strawberry. Now those are fruits, but they make it sweet enough that you can do without the salad dressing, or at least I can. Anyway, it's easy to do. And then, half a cup of green beans with your dinner, or broccoli, or Brussels sprouts, or half a cup of a white potato. Bake your white potato, and sweet potato. That's even better for you than the white potato. So easy to get 1 cup of greens and 4 half cup of other vegetables. So easy to do. So easy. I know you've got this. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Thanks for watching. And until next week, God bless.